sure what she died of, but she was obviously in great distress.
I know one thing. You better repent. And I'll tell you why. You Americans want to keep being cold-hearted and ugly-spirited. God's going to bring a drastic, horrible, terrifying judgment on you. I'm telling you as a Christian man what I believe God is going to do unless people start repenting and acting right. You selfish, greedy, disrespectful, hateful generation, you better repent and start showing some love and praying that God helps you love and be a decent person again. I mean, we got to start using our brains again. You know, we got to start going back to the basics. Oh, you're being so violent. You're being so ugly. Well, you know what? This is an ugly time we're living in, and it's time for people to wake up. We got kids fighting our battle in war right now. How many people watching right now have even got on your knees to pray for these kids?
We really need a draft. We need a larger military. Yeah, and everybody should be affected. Everybody should serve the community. Maybe not everybody should serve the country. Maybe.
Hell, we got 10 million black men in prison.
In the military, but
that's a hell of a. We got 10 million black men in prison, probably at least 10 million, at least 5 million. That's a hell of a military right there.
Well, why not? Why not? I mean, how passive can society be? He's obviously ill.
I'll tell you how passive they are. As long as there's 1 million guys going to prison about 25 years and younger every year, just in this state alone, I might be off a little bit on my figures. To not say anything about 1 million kids going away to prison, that's pretty passive. I mean, let's just face it, that's a strong military. Let's face it, that's our future engineers and doctors. You know, I heard of a survey like this, you know, you can say I'm being real ugly about the things I'm talking about. Do you know how many engineers Japan is going to graduate this year? 800,000 engineers. You know how many engineers we're going to graduate in the United States this year? 80,000. So who's going to be our next boss? Do the math. 800,000 engineers versus 80,000 engineers. You know, and you know why we're only graduating 80,000 engineers? It's because we're locking everybody up. 800,000 engineers graduating in China and Japan. I mean, just in Japan alone. 80,000 engineers graduating in the United States. Well, maybe we could have 200,000 engineers graduating if we weren't locking up all the black kids and the Hispanic kids. And maybe we could even have 400,000 engineers if we weren't locking all our youth up and all our young adults.
It's just not about color, it's about socioeconomics. You can be any color and be poor and ignorant.
That's right. You can be any color and be poor and ignorant. But I am being a little bit more pinpoint to the fact that, you know, when I went to jail 1.5 years ago because they mistaken me for another man who did a hit and run, and I had to do 3 days in jail undeservingly, all I saw in there was like a 99% black ratio when I was in Texas. And it was a very eye-opening experience because 99% of the people locked up in the jail were black.
Did you hear about the young girl in Texas who got like 5 years for pushing a teacher's assistant? I believe it was a teacher's assistant. And another girl who burnt down the family home only got probation. She was Caucasian. And so finally they raised a ruckus enough that they're looking into this about the young lady. I hope if she hasn't been released already. But someone said this isn't right. Why is this woman a young girl, I think she was 14 years old, incarcerated in prison for pushing, I believe it was a teacher's aide.
If you're black, you're getting 1 year off the back. Period. If you're black, the ballots aren't fair. The system's not fair, and that's why I'm speaking out. Because, you know what, I want the judges and the DAs to know that a lot of you, God is not pleased. You're wondering why you're getting these weird diseases and cancers and family members having problems and stuff. It's because your judgments are off. Just a little bit off. You say, well, ooh, I can't wait till this black guy messes up so I can get him. But you know what, I ain't worried about that because God's got my back. You want to deal with me, you deal with God. You know, but the bottom line is you're wrong. The judgments are off. You know, if you're black and you steal a pack of bubble gum, chances are you're doing 1 year, 6 months, 8 months. You know, depending on the situation, I know it could vary, but a white kid could steal, you know, the whole store and you know, chances are he might get probation. You know, we got to start leveling. We got to start looking at us like real Americans and having more of a fair and just system. It's not fair for a young girl to burn a house down. She gets probation. A young black girl pushes a teacher's assistant. She gets 5 years in prison. Something's wrong with this. Something's wrong with this. I'm not making this a race thing and causing a bunch of hatred, but something is seriously wrong. Period. Something's wrong.
How do you go from Duke Ellington? How do you go from Duke Ellington to Louis Armstrong to the people who made this incredible music? There's so much dignity in the music. There was such sophisticated music, and it's still out there. But what has happened? What is it's to me, when I look at the culture, I see this degradation of culture and this acceptance of this music that what do you want to call that? Thug rap music? What do you want to call that?
There is some positive, good rap music out there, but unfortunately, there's just so much trash rap music out there. And you know what? My kids will not listen to it.
So it's an acceptance of the inferior.
Huh?
It's an acceptance of the inferior.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And this is allowed to go on because people are making money.
Yeah, it's all about, you know what? Black people better wake up. Better wake up. Better wake up. Black people better, somebody, if you want to get shot for selling a key of cocaine, get shot for justice to come forth and for rights to come forth and for us to be more, you know, not every black person is ignorant. Not every black person is a thief. Not every black person is uneducated, and not well spoken.
Do you look at black as skin color, or do you look at it as a mentality? What is being black to you? I mean, I'm not white. Am I white? I'm not white. Are you black? You look tan to me. You
That's
don't look
right.
black.
That's right.
What really you're looking at is you want to talk about what's inside a person's mind, their consciousness.
That's right.
So there's an African American, a cultural consciousness. There's a Caucasian cultural consciousness. I think what you're really looking at, what we need to do, is we need to have a sense of community consciousness. Instead of spending $25 for parking to watch the 49ers and God knows how much for a parking ticket, what if you took the time out to help a young man?
That's right.
Whatever color, just to help somebody.
That's right. Get back to the basics.
That's right.
That you know, because people forgot that if you help people, God might reward you.
Talk to people who were in the Depression before they had social services really out there. They knew when families were having a tough time. They knew when someone was laid off work. They worked to help those in their community. Everybody, they helped them with food. They helped them with child rearing. People helped each other.
This greedy, selfish, greedy, just greedy, just no consciousness of the eternal, of eternity. When God plays back your record and your script, what are they going to say? They're going to say Michael Peters was the most selfish son of a bitch on the planet. He was a doctor, he made good money, he had a big house, he did all these things for himself. Cheryl Smith, such a prosperous and successful businesswoman, would not give $1 to the homeless at all. You know, and the list just goes on. So many people have totally forgotten what it's like that, hey, maybe I should just give a little bit to the poor because God is going to reward me. Maybe I should have some compassion. Maybe I'm a police officer and I should take this young man to jail, but I'm going to have a little bit of compassion because I look in his eyes and I see he just doesn't know any better. And rather than me screw up his life forever, maybe I'll have some compassion. Maybe I'm a judge and I'm looking at a guy that's facing 20 years and he's never broken the law, and I can give him 5 years and give him a break and maybe be able to have a chance to redeem his life. And I just say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just give this guy 5 years. He deserves 20, but I'm going to have compassion.